Late in the evening, the sun has gone down, it is getting dark. The perfect time for a submarine to depart the port and head out to sea. There is just enough light to navigate the harbor and follow the minesweeper past the nets and minefields. At the same time, it is dark enough that anybody watching from the town will not be able to tell which submarine, or even which type of submarine, is leaving the harbor. By the time we part ways with our escort, it will be completely dark, and the darkness will hopefully protect us as we make a quick dash into the Bay of Biscay, into deep water. When the new day dawns and Allied aircraft patrol begin their search for U-boats, we will be able to dive and to stay submerged during the day. During our time in port, our boat has received new batteries with a higher capacity, allowing us to stay submerged for longer periods of time, or to alternatively cross longer distances at higher speeds. Surely this will be very useful where we are going. We are ordered to take up a position in CG88, about 350 kilometers west-southwest of the Straits of Gibraltar. Our mission is to intercept enemy shipping going into the Mediterranean. But that area is very close to the airbase at Gibraltar and will be well patrolled. If the enemy's air patrols are too frequent, we might very well be forced to stay submerged during the day. But potential enemy air patrols are not the only thing that worries me. I have in my possession a sealed envelope that I'm only to open once I receive orders to do so. I suspect that this envelope contains orders to head through the Straits of Gibraltar and join the fleet in the Mediterranean. Something that I'm not looking forward to. The Straits of Gibraltar are a very dangerous place for a U-boat. The British have intensified their patrols there since the first U-boats slipped through. In addition to that, I consider the Mediterranean, with its shallow waters and a lot of Allied air cover, to be a very poor area of operations for U-boats. I'd much rather remain in the Atlantic and continue to conduct operations against Allied convoys there. Sure, the Atlantic is also getting more dangerous with each day, especially with the Americans, neutral on paper, acting with increasing aggressiveness while protecting convoys heading to England and now even the Soviet Union. Their destroyers are even participating in depth charge attacks on our boats. Therefore, I wasn't surprised when, about a month ago, Erich Topp's U-552 sunk one of them. I am concerned that this escalation of force in the Atlantic might lead to the United States joining the war against us. On the other hand, their merchant fleet is already in the business of shipping huge amounts of war supplies to Britain and the Soviet Union, keeping them in the fight, war supplies produced by their industry. And now their escorts are actively engaging our submarines. There are many submariners who I've spoken to that are of the opinion that if a war were to be formally declared, it would at last free us to sink any American merchant, with no regard for the flag that it flies. The increased loss of shipping space and war supplies might finally force Britain to its knees. I am not so sure of that theory. Yes, the United States is producing a lot of war supplies that are used against us. But if they were officially at war, wouldn't they shift even more of their industry to wartime production? Maybe there are better ways to directly weaken British resolve. For example, by sinking their warships. In the evening of the 27th of November, we picked up a news broadcast that on the 25th of November, when we were leaving port, less than 2 weeks after U-81's famous attack on Ark Royal, Hans-Dieter Freiherr von Tiesenhausen attacked a squadron of 3 battleships on U-331 off the coast of Libya and sank the British battleship Barham with 3 torpedoes. This success, so soon after the sinking of the aircraft carrier Ark Royal, is a huge blow to British capabilities in the Mediterranean and to their morale in general. Another huge blow is in the making, as Rommel's Afrika Korps stands on the Egyptian border, ready to strike towards the Suez Canal. If that can be captured, it is almost certain that Britain will lose control of the Mediterranean completely, and after that, the Middle East. An empire shattered. Another huge empire is seemingly close to meeting its end. The war against the Soviet Union seems to be going well. After more than 500,000 Red Army soldiers were encircled near Vyazma, the Wehrmacht has pushed on relentlessly, captured Kharkov, Kursk, is besieging Sevastopol on the Black Sea, and is standing in front of Moscow. On the news they are broadcasting that the fighting is fierce, but our tanks are about to enter the city any day now, cutting off the head of the communist snake and ending this war with the Soviet Union. I have to admit that I do not feel as confident as they are in regards to a Soviet surrender. I do remember my history lessons from school about Napoleon who captured Moscow, which was not followed by a Russian surrender. No, in fact it was followed by most of his army dying on a retreat through the frozen fields and forests. It is the 29th of November. We have arrived in our patrol area and have spotted a small convoy consisting of 3 ships. The targets look very enticing. 3 huge merchants, a lot of tonnage sailing towards us, and no escort in sight. Everyone is very excited, as this might be an opportunity to start our patrol with a major success. We are moving closer to investigate and to set up for an attack. But as we move closer, it becomes clear that these merchants that we see are not British. They are flying Portuguese and Brazilian flags, neutral nations that we still hope to bring over to our side in this global war. So we are of course not attacking these ships. We are letting them go. They have a long journey ahead of them, all the way to Brazil. We spend our days patrolling back and forth in our area of operations, with very little happening. Most of the time we stay submerged during the day, to minimize the risk of aircraft attack. But sometimes we do have to come up to replenish air reserves and to recharge batteries. In those times, it is up to the watch crew to make sure that we are safe, to scan the horizon and the skies for enemy ships and enemy aircraft, to warn us in time if any should be approaching. To the uninitiated, this might seem easy enough to do. After all, how hard can it be to just stand around and look at the sky? But anybody who had to stand watch at some point will tell you how difficult it is to keep your focus despite the monotony of the task, constantly looking at the same piece of horizon and sky and not letting your thoughts wander back to home, back to your loved ones. And so it is no surprise that even the best watchman can slip up. And that is what happened when suddenly, without any warning, 2 hurricanes dove out of the blue sky and started to strafe our boat. Everybody rushed down into the conning tower. Everybody apart from one man, who grabbed the anti-aircraft gun and returned fire. A very brave, but against 2 fast fighters, hopeless effort that I immediately put a stop to by ordering the boat to crash dive before the fighters could turn around and strafe us again. Everybody who did not have a station to man rushed to the bow torpedo room to weigh down the front section of the boat to help us submerge faster. Everybody was aware that this was a matter of life or death. We had to submerge before the fighters turned around. The sailor who had manned the anti-aircraft gun had eyes as large as saucer plates and skin as pale as porcelain when he told me that the aircraft were carrying bombs under their wings, that he was sure that he had seen them. Maybe his effort was more than just bravery under fire. Maybe the tracers racing up towards the planes had made the pilots nervous and messed up their approach. Maybe he has saved our boat. Everyone waited for something to happen, with butt cheeks firmly clenched together. Were those planes carrying bombs or depth charges? Everyone listened to the depth call-outs from the chief engineer, hoping that we could get deep enough that regardless of what they were throwing at us, we would survive. And then suddenly... Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The planes had indeed carried bombs. Our boat had just narrowly avoided destruction. Quick thinking and determined action by one sailor had saved 50 others. I was about to congratulate the man when I remembered to ask who was responsible for the near disaster. With eyes somehow getting even larger and skin even paler, he admitted that it was his fault. The aircraft approached from his sector of the sky. When he finally saw them, they were already very close, and the only thing that he could think of was to grab the anti-aircraft gun. It left me stunned, and I had to send him away before the urge for the most comprehensive dressing down of my life could overcome me. The radio man woke me up late in the night. He had just deciphered a radio report. From BDU to U-80, contact reported enemy large convoy, grid CG88, course east, speed 9 knots. The convoy was in our area of operations, just a few dozen kilometers away from us. We plotted an intercept course and headed towards them. It is a very calm night. No wind, no waves. This will allow us to rapidly approach the enemy convoy. But a surface attack will be completely out of the question, because in the sky above us is a round and full moon illuminating the sea. Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of this very amazing Silent Hunter 3 campaign with the OneAlex Mod Edition. And today I hope that I have a really big treat for you in the form of a large convoy that is just appearing in the darkness in front of us. Don't worry, I don't think it's gonna stay too dark for very long. Well, for one, we have an almost full moon in the sky, and it is already almost 4 o'clock in the morning on December the 5th, 1941. I have my user here. We have received a report of a ship spotted at 10 degrees. I do see that there are shadows out there, but other than that I can't really tell anything. I'm still too far away, although looking at how calm the waters here are, we have a wind speed of 0 meters per second. I'm a little bit afraid of the capability of their radar, so I'm now gonna dive to periscope depth.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Auf Seerotiefe gehen.
And we are gonna slow down a bit. And we are also gonna get somebody on the hydrophone, of course. Let you rest. There we go. Who needs to rest more? You do. Okay. You I will need on this station. Alright, we are diving, and we should soon pick them up on hydrophone. In fact, now that we are beneath the surface, let me slow down a little bit more until I can make sure that I'm not too close to them. I really don't want to be hurt prematurely. Hydrophone. What do you have for me? There should be plenty. Yeah, there we go. Merchant, moving fast, closing. Let's hear for ourselves. What is out there? That's a merchant, I think. Might be overlapping with a warship though. There we definitely hear a warship, but in the background I hear the deep chugging of merchant ships. Okay, we have a ship out here at 30 degrees. On the other side, I don't have an enemy until 350, so it seems to me that most of the enemy convoy is actually going towards our right side, so I should really turn that way.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Neuer Kurs 329.
Kontakt. Frachter. Kommt näher. Auf 5. Große Entfernung.
I should turn that way to make sure that we get in front of them, that we will get the opportunity to get close enough to them. And until we do that, it will take some time, so I'm gonna...
Kontakt. Kriegsschiff. Entfernt sich. Auf 1-7.
I wonder how many warships there are. So, until I have visual contact with them, I'm gonna put a little break in the video here, and we'll see each other once I'm a little bit closer to them.
3-2-5. Große Entfernung.
Welcome back. Turning to intercept the convoy has absolutely been the right call. I've stayed on that course, and I had sped up for a while, but then slowed down again. And now we can see here that we are getting close to the convoy ships. They are the first ships in the convoy. And then it goes on like this. It's a pretty big one. And I will definitely get close enough to attack at least the ships in this row here. The issues, however, are that I have an enemy escort right there. He is protecting the side of the convoy. I hope I'm far enough forward that I will slip in between it and the convoy. There is another escort that is reported to be closest to me, somewhere here. Oh, there it is. Right there. It's turning my way right now. Down periscope. I hope they didn't see that. I have to be careful. The surface of the water is just so flat. I don't think it would be very difficult for them to spot the periscope. Okay, it has continued its turn, so it's just on a patrol pattern. That's good. But we are at a point where I have to start making preparations for the attack. Where I have to figure out which ships I want to attack. And I also need to figure out how close they are to me, what their speed is, etc. Everything. That's not gonna be easy, and that escort is slowly heading... It's zigzagging towards me. I should be careful here. So ahead of us here we have a ship that... Well, I can't really tell, but to me it looks as if it is almost at a 90-degree angle. So at that angle, if I go to my... Yeah, thank you. So let's say that I've seen them on an 80-degree AOB at that bearing, then their course would be 35 degrees. Is that probable? It is. Let me have a quick look at the map here. So they obviously had changed their course from the point where they were reported to me. But 35, that would mean that they have almost turned north. No, I don't think that's believable. Their general course should be more or less 75. Unless they're zigzagging, of course. That zig to the north would actually explain why I'm meeting them basically up here instead of down here. Difficult. Difficult. If they were, we can make the counterexample here. Let's say that this thing was sailing on a course of 75 degrees. Then I would be seeing an AOB of only 40 degrees right now for that ship on this bearing. Let's check. I don't think that's 45. Although, it's so dark, I could be wrong, of course. I could just be wrong. 40. That does not look like 40 to me. There's the escort. Let's keep the periscope low. I'm soon gonna switch over to the attack periscope for the remainder of this attack. Look at these things. We might actually get in front of this one. And that means we are penetrating into the convoy, which I'm very much in favor of. I still need to get the speed from one of these ships. The enemy's speed was reported at 9 knots, so for now we are gonna go with that number. And I'm also gonna fully lower the observation periscope. I'm gonna switch to the attack periscope now that we are getting this close. You know, historically, during a night attack, sometimes the observation periscope would be used, or quite often actually, because the attack periscope, due to it having a smaller periscope head, well, the smaller periscope head lets less light in than the bigger periscope head on the observation periscope, and so the picture that you got in the attack periscope was darker, and the last thing that you need at night is an even darker picture. But that limitation, unfortunately, does not exist here in the game. So using this periscope right now, and you know, without knowing precisely how much darker this would be, that just makes sense, also with how the spotting by the enemy works. There's a big one. I'm looking at you there, you are a big one. What I should be looking at are these ships here. Once I get in front of them, I will precisely know the enemy's course, and I will be able to set up a 90-degree attack on the ships in the convoy. The torpedoes that I have loaded, well, tubes 2 and 3 have steam power torpedoes. Those I will most likely use for the ships that are further away, because these have a greater range. And then I have 2 electric torpedoes in tubes 1 and 4. Depending on how confident I am with my firing solution, I might do single fire against enemy ships, or I might salvo fire. We'll have to see about that. Torpedo failures are still a thing after all. Maybe I'll just double fire. We'll see. We'll see. So for now I've set the enemy's speed to 9 knots, and by the way, since we are on a new patrol right now, I have updated my mods. I have included the Fistful of Iron mod by Okami Sanjudo, and that adds this lovely thing here. If I move my mouse up here, these dials slide out, and they are essentially the same dials that you see here, but they are zoomed in, have more detail to them, and you can make finer adjustments because of that. So see here, I can actually really put the speed at 9 knots on the dot, which is very hard to do on this small dial here. So that's nice. Let's take another look. I don't want to miss that point, but looks like I'm almost there. I'm now gonna order the boat to go to silent running. We are going inside the convoy. Hydrophone operator, closest warship. 294 medium range, I don't have to worry yet. And looks like we are getting there. We're actually getting there. Okay. Hold on. Looks like they're really sailing behind each other. There, that's the bearing. Down periscope, open the map, mark my own position. Really nice. Weapons officer. Target bearing and course. Target bearing was this here, so their course is precisely 65 degrees. See? That's more like it. 65. And that means I have to draw this out to 245. 245. They're coming down this bearing. And they will be continuing up this bearing here. Let's delete all the other lines that I don't need anymore. Good. Very good. Okay. Back to the periscope we go. Now I need to figure out the enemy's speed. Ideally I need something in front of me for that. I will select you. You look like you are more or less 100 meters long. A little bit more than that, probably 110 or 120. Might also pick you. But I need just a ship that is very visible, very well defined. This one looks to be longer. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one here. So boats, turn this way. And as soon as we have turned that way, I will slow us down, I think. But let's now continue to set up the torpedoes. So we have the electric torpedoes in tubes 1 and 4. That means that in tubes 2 and 3 we have the steam torpedoes. I will set those to medium speed. Depth will be 4.5 meters. Impact. Medium speed, impact 4.5. Very nice. We'll do the same depth for the electric torpedoes with impact pistols. And tube number 5. Medium speed, impact. There we go. There we go. That's nice. Our turn is completing. Yeah, now the boat will drift back to the other side for a bit. I'll wait for that to finish before I slow down the boat. Let's look forward. How are things looking? Okay, the target that I want to measure is almost there. Let's lower the periscope again. Still turning. I hope the turn completes in time. It should. Okay. Slow down the boat. Stop the clock. There we go. Let's measure how much time is passing. Keep the periscope low. Just raise it when we need to. And I need to now. And stop the clock. 22 seconds. 22 seconds. That's not a lot. 22 for, let's call it 110. Something, yeah, well, looks, I think 9 knots is pretty much accurate. Okay. I'm not super convinced, but I think it's good enough. Now let's look for targets. This one looks juicy. This has a weird mast on it. What is this? Might be some kind of oiler or something. There's a big tanker. Hello. You just advanced to prime target status. I'm going deep inside the convoy here. Look at them all. But this here, this is my target. It has to be. Okay. What we'll do now, I'll take another look at the AOB of some of these ships, just to confirm what we have seen so far. Do I have a nice 90-degree AOB anywhere? Not really, but let's go with this one. On that bearing, if they are sailing on a course of 65, I should see an AOB of about 90, and that looks plausible. Okay. So, they're sailing on a course of 65 degrees. I will have to come to what is that? There we go. I will have to come to 335. Let's do that right now.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Neuer Kurs. 3, 4.
Let's start our turn. Get to 90 degrees and let's continue the preparations. So at that bearing I will have a nice... I like this. I will have a nice 90-degree shot at them. Everything else is set up alright. Let's increase the distance a bit to a 1.5. There we go. Good. We set the clock. Switch to the forward tubes here. That's it. Everything updated. Nice. We are turning. Still turning. We'll soon be there. Don't you worry. Let's take another look. Oh, and by the way, episode 100. I can't believe it. When I started this campaign and this series on YouTube, I never would have imagined that this series would run for so long and that we'd still be alive at this point. We had a lot of close calls during this career, but somehow we are still alive and we've made it to episode 100 in December of 1941. That, to me, is absolutely incredible. And let me just take this opportunity to really, from my very heart, thank each and every one of you who have followed this series from the beginning up until now. That in itself is quite a feat, and I really hope that you had an enjoyable time. I really do. Because ultimately that's why I'm doing this. I'm uploading this campaign to YouTube because I really like to share this experience with you. That's the reason why I'm doing this. And so far it has been an absolutely lovely experience. And these ships are getting awfully close to me. Wow, that one looks big, doesn't it? It looks really big, in fact. Now, obviously this is an enemy convoy. I don't even need to look at their flags, but I'm still doing it. I see a British flag right there, so that's it. If any other nationalities should be sailing inside this convoy, tough luck for them. Wait, what is that? That's not a British flag. A Norwegian one, I think. Cool. Okay. Gyro angle 0 is over here. So this is the point where we'll need to fire. Looks like... It's an interesting question. At which ships do I shoot? Switch to tube 2. Do I maybe salvo fire my steam torpedoes? Because they will have to travel the farthest. Could be a good idea. I could shoot at this one, and this one, which is a tanker. And even this one. Now this one is too close already, I think. Or do I shoot at the other ships behind them? So I will shoot at that one, and that one. Yeah, I think that's what we'll be doing. I will be shooting a salvo. I could try to do another speed measurement here, so let's actually do that. And I'll measure the speed of this tanker as it is passing by. It's a short ship, So I guess once again about 100 meters. Stop it. Ah, damn it. I wanted to measure the speed of this one then because, well, it's so close. I will just add a few seconds at the end of the measurement. So I'll add about as much as... There we go, 21 seconds. This ship is once again about 100 meters long, so it still fits the bill. 9 knots is perfectly alright. No flares, no nothing in the sky. I am free to open up on my enemies, and we have to actually start right now. Open the tube. First torpedo. Go. Increase the range a bit. I waited a little bit too long. Tube open. Torpedo away. Tube open. Yeah, I waited a little bit too long. Damn it. It's fine. Range 2.5. Fire. And now we wait for the big one. Reduce range 1.5. Now we just wait. What is this thing? This is a really big ship. It looks massive. So I think I should try to target it maybe with my rear tube, or I use my rear tube against one of these ones. I will see. I will see once I fire. Okay, my real target is coming into view. Open the tube. Get ready. Oh boy. Check everything. Everything looks good. Fire. Switch to tube 5. Behind me. That is an acceptable target. There's an escort right there. Oh, it's so close. That's not good. Oh, that's not good. Okay, after I fire, I will have to dive immediately. Open the tube. Actually, start diving right now. I don't need to see to fire. And fire. Down periscope. We are starting to dive. Increase our speed. Dive faster, dive faster, dive faster. I don't want to be clipped here. Down to 25. Oh boy. We have torpedo impacts. And we have just been rammed by that thing. Our conning tower has been rammed. We are okay though. Oh, how are we okay? We are though. We are okay. They must have just clipped it. And I hear more torpedo impacts. This is great. Okay, now that we have fired our torpedoes, let's actually go really, really deep down there. And the enemy doesn't know where we are. So with a bit of luck, we can make a good escape here. Oh boy. Everything is still a little bit shaky here on board. But the important thing is that we have hit a few ships. I don't think that we already have any sinkings. No, no sinkings confirmed. Let's go to the hydrophone. Do I hear a torpedo? I do. I think those are the two farthest torpedoes. I guess they might have missed.
Derzeitige Tiefe 3,0.
Or were faulty. I'm not sure. Not sure if I'm hearing 1 or 2 torpedoes. But I'm kind of confident that they missed their targets, which is unfortunate. But still, we hit the enemy quite well. The boat is still being a bit shaken by the experience. Ah, that thing could have taken off our conning tower, but I guess that we have a bent-in railing up there and not much else. That can be fixed. Oh boy, we were just deep enough that they only clipped the conning tower a little bit. Very nice. Okay, from here on out, I really don't want to be detected, but I need to get a little bit lower before I slow down further. I need to go deeper. Right now up there it will be absolute hell, and with a bit of luck the enemy escorts will not know that we have fired from inside the convoy, and we'll be able to slip out on the other side. I'm not reloading torpedoes right now, because that makes a racket that I would like to avoid right now. Once we are below 60 meters, I think I will slow us down a bit more. I'm just glad that we did hit something. I think I heard at least 2 torpedo impacts. 2 torpedo detonations. So we have 2 ships that are potentially going down, or are at least very crippled. Hydrophone, tell me something about the nearest warship. Closing. Oh, I don't like that. 209. Closing is not good. Are there any warships in front of us? There's one. There's one. There's one. So 2 warships are coming from behind me. One is coming from my side. This is actually probably the most dangerous one, because I'm presenting a very nice profile to him. I think those are 2 torpedoes that I hear.
Derzeitige Tiefe 6,0.
Good, okay. Let's slow down even further.
Derzeitige Fahrt 1 Knoten.
I want to make sure that we are reducing our RPMs as much as possible. Below 100 is nice. Yes, that will mean that we take a little bit more time to dive to depth. But with a bit of luck it will also mean that we avoid detection. With a lot of luck. Now that we are down here and completely powerless to do anything, I think it's okay for us to take a quick look up top. How's the situation looking? Is anything really on fire? No. No, it's not. And around us, yeah, we see that the escorts are starting to blaze away with lights. We have the convoy passing overhead. And that's it. So I guess that we hit this one.
Torpedo hat Ziel verfehlt, Herr Kaloin.
No. Really? I wouldn't have thought. Oh, okay. I don't see you listing too much. That's discouraging. Well, I'm not sure. We'll just have to see how the situation develops. I don't know. I ultimately really don't know which ship we did hit and which we didn't. So all I can do is guess at this point. But I think our shots were... Wait, this one is actually on fire, so we definitely hit this one. That's nice. So we have one ship on fire and most definitely being hit. Now the question is, Will anybody go down from those impacts? Or would we have been better served to fire 2 torpedoes at each target? It might have actually been a really good idea to fire 2 torpedoes at this guy. Yeah, he's just so large. Even if 1 torpedo did hit him, I'm not sure if it will sink. Now that I look at it. Ah well, can't change it now.
Derzeitige Tiefe 7,0.
What we have to concern ourselves with now is to get out of here. That's what we have to do now. Just get out of here. Go really deep, get out of here. Try to get away from the convoy, surface. Try to get into a position somewhere ahead of them, but that will not be easy. Daylight is fast approaching, and the Straits of Gibraltar are not far away. So, enemy aircraft are not far away. The enemy airbase here, it's only about 500 kilometers away, and it will get closer as we try to intercept the convoy again. They will be able to circle aircraft very fast. I don't know how much battery power I will have. It might be a very dangerous day that is ahead of us. But we'll try. We'll try. I have a full salvo of electric torpedoes that I can load into the forward tubes. They are perfect for daytime attack. Hydrophone. Give me an update. Closest one is on 208. Still have this one. This one is giving me the creeps, really. Now what?
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Derzeitige Fahrt 1 Knoten.
Let's try to increase our speed a little bit here. 90 RPMs or 80? Not quite sure.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Derzeitige Fahrt 2 Knoten.
Yeah, just below 100 RPMs. Let's go with that. I hope that this will help me to get away from the path of that warship that is approaching from our left side. And deep enough that they won't be able to detect me. Because in these calm waters, if I do get detected by them, I'll be in trouble. I'm not gonna mince my words here or, well, pretend that that is not the case. We are actually in really grave danger. With the warship slowing down on 80. So he's most likely searching. This one here is just constantly powering on. Not sure if it's coming towards us or not. Moving away.
Derzeitige Tiefe 8,0.
He might be on a search pattern back there. Okay, here's what I'll do. Come right 10 degrees.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Neuer Kurs 3 5 2.
I'll try to give myself a little bit more time to get away from the warship that is approaching from behind the convoy on my left side. But for now, escaping this situation will take time, absolutely. And so for now I will pause the video here and we'll resume it once I have a significant update for you. That update might include depth charges.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Derzeitige Fahrt 1 Knoten.
I might be in trouble here. So the ship that was approaching from my left side is now the closest one. And they have slowed down and started pinging. I have already started a turn to try to get them just into my rear quadrant here, so that I offer as little surface as possible to them. But I don't know. Did they actually stop the engines? Oh, devious bastards.
Derzeitige Tiefe 110.
I can't hear them. I just hear the pinging. Well, this is not ideal. I have slowed down, and so I really hope that they can't hear me. What are the others doing? If they have slowed down like this, they might be listening, trying to hear where I am, and then guiding the others towards me. Are they really working with such coordination? Not sure, but 216 short range is where that thing is. I'm still turning, still trying to get it behind me. Let's keep going like this. That's it.
Der Feind hat uns in der Ortung, Herr Kaloin.
They have us.
Endlich vorbei.
I think I heard the depth charge going off, but they must be too far away. I'm holding off on increasing my speed.
Der Feind hat uns in der Ortung, Herr Kaloin. Wann ist das endlich vorbei?
Waiting. Waiting. I think we have been detected. Still waiting, they're still approaching. They stopped pinging. I still don't hear anything. There they are. Increase speed. And off we go to avoid the depth charges. By the way, let me select the reloads that we need here. We might need to defend ourselves after all. The men might as well start. Waiting in queue, waiting in queue, yeah, I need more men. Let's reload the stern tube first. 11 minutes. You go there. You'll help out with the torpedo reload. We are dropping rapidly.
Derzeitige Tiefe 170. Derzeitige Tiefe 180.
The hull is groaning.
Derzeitige Tiefe 190.
Course change.
Derzeitige Tiefe 200.
Let's turn. And then I'll slow down. We are creating a lot of noise here. This will draw at least one other escort to our position. Good. Slow down. And go back to silent running. We are now so deep that it will be difficult for them to ping us. Depth charges are in the water, but I don't think they'll be close to us. There's nothing directly overhead. I think we'll be fine. I hope. I really do. How many will they drop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was basically... we turned. If we hadn't turned, that would have been pretty much in front of us. 6, 7. Eight. Let's go to the hydrophone operator station. What's the warship doing? My guess is that it turned left after dropping the depth charges. That's why it's now on this bearing. Yeah, it's coming left. That's good. That's good. Since we turned, it might not be able to reacquire us right away. The problem is the others that are coming. Okay, let me slow down.
Derzeitige Fahrt 1 Knoten.
He's up there. I hear you. But I'm in the dead zone of your S-stick. You can't ping me. So he really doesn't have a precise clue where I am. But still, he's up there and he's just waiting. Looks like he turned around and is now heading back towards my right side. I'm currently on a course of straight north. Might want to turn even more left. Because there seems to be another coming from the front there. Let's turn a bit more left. Give me 340.
340.
Yeah, he passed overhead. I'm so deep, they're having trouble. Depth charges, but I think I'll be fine. Hold on to something, boys. I think he was already behind me when he started dropping. So we should be okay. We should absolutely be okay. Yeah, that's behind me. Let's stay calm. Let's just keep going this way. The hull is protesting against this treatment that it's receiving right now, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So, I think that I'll continue to creep away, hoping that they won't be able to reacquire me. And well, if they do, I will just have to evade. But for now, let's try to get away. I really need to shake them so that I can resurface and try to intercept the convoy again. I have a little update for you. That escort up there is still throwing depth charges in the water and trying to find us, but I don't think they've been able to locate us. So that's good. That's really good news. Other good news is that we have received from our hydrophone operator the sounds of, or confirmation that we hear sounds of a sinking ship. So, the ship that was actually behind us that we shot at with tube number 5 is sinking, the medium merchant type 22, 5,672 tons. Unfortunately, that so far is the only report of a sinking ship that we received. There was at least one more torpedo detonation, so we did hit something. But it's very possible that just wasn't enough. That even though our torpedo detonated, that maybe it hit that big huge tanker and just did not do enough damage to sink it. Or maybe the detonation that we heard was a premature one. I'm just not sure. Maybe a ship out there is still flooding and taking its sweet time to go down. I guess we'll find out a bit later. In any case, we have sunk one ship. The first ship of this patrol, and I hope there will be many more to come. For now, let's continue to try to get away from this pesky escort up there, and hope that they don't find us again. Welcome back. So the enemy escort was completely unable to reacquire us, and well, after spending quite some time submerged, we have now come back up to periscope depth, ready to take a look because the enemy escort has gone away and followed the convoy. And they are currently all on a bearing of about 82, so let's go to the periscope and have a look. I already raised it just now. So how's the situation looking? There it is. There's the escort returning back to the convoy, and they are over there in the distance. Daylight is just coming, as you can see. Very, very soon we will have the sun rising over the horizon. And that means that there will be an increased danger of enemy airplanes. I will have to keep that in mind. But still, we will try to follow the convoy, I think. We'll at least try. So, where are they right now and where are they going? So, they're on a bearing of about... let's see, where's the center of the convoy? I'd say about here. So, let's say a bearing of 74. That means that we are looking at about 80... 85-ish on the map. .85-ish, so they're somewhere over here, and I'll just put the range in as, let's say, something like 17 or 18 kilometers. Or let's go with 20, why not? Nah, that's too far, I wouldn't be able to see them anymore, would I? Let's go with this. They're approximately there. And from there, there's really only one place where they are going. It's Gibraltar. So ultimately what I need to do is I need to try to get ahead of them somewhere along the way. How many kilometers do they have until they reach a place, until they reach the Straits? About 375 kilometers. Oh boy, today is gonna be a very dangerous day. It really is. Now, what do I do? If they are going that way, let me draw a line like this. That's gonna be their general course. I need to keep a distance of about 15 kilometers maybe to the track of the convoy. Something like that. So the way that I'm going is actually a good start. And from there we are gonna continue like this. And then keep heading that way, trying to intercept them. Now, from my position here, is it safe for me to surface already? That escort is still in visual range. I might wait a few more minutes. I might wait 10 more minutes before I do so. I think it is safe to increase my speed already, so we'll do that. I have also begun reloading the torpedoes. Actually, the stern tube needs more men. So let's send one. Yeah, we are loading. I'll be loading the torpedoes, pulling men from the stern torpedo room to the bow torpedo room as soon as that tube back there is reloaded. So we'll have the torpedoes loaded in no time. That will go fast. But then what do we do? Well, in about 10 minutes I think I will surface, and we are gonna go after them. Unfortunately, we did not receive another report of a sinking, so what I can write down in my report for this patrol is 1 ship sunk and 1 damaged. It doesn't seem as if we have a damaged ship lagging behind the convoy, does it? No, I don't think so. I don't think so, but who knows? I will have to keep an eye out on that. Maybe there will be a ship lagging behind the convoy. There's one thing I can see there, just by looking at this. I think this is the big tanker here. So the funnel is in the rear, and I see the bow there, so I can actually guess it's AOB. Let's do that. On this bearing, I think I see an AOB of about 150 or so. That would mean they are sailing on a course of about 60 degrees, seems reasonable. If they are sailing on a course of about 60 degrees, that means they're going up north. Now, are they going up north to then turn and go directly towards the east, towards Gibraltar? Am I better served by trying just to run for Gibraltar? I think I am. I think I'm changing my plans here. If they want to waste time going north, I'll just keep heading directly towards Gibraltar. That's gonna help me, I think. Okay, down periscope. As I said, I'm gonna surface in about 10 minutes. When I'm relatively confident that that enemy escort won't be able to spot me visually because the water is still completely flat up there. And then we are going after them. In daylight, unfortunately. But that will be something for next episode. Once again, I want to thank you very much for watching episode 100 of this series. I really do mean it when I say that I did not expect that this series would continue for this long, and that I'm very grateful for your support over all these months, over all these patrols and episodes. Trust me when I say that making these episodes is a time-consuming affair. It really is. I'm spending a lot of time to record just one episode, and that's also why you had to wait a little bit longer for this one, because there were just a lot of days at sea where nothing at all happened. I mean, I left port on the 25th of November, and now it's the 5th of December. A lot of days spent just cruising around, not finding anything. But now Now we have a convoy in front of us that I'm gonna keep harassing. So once again, thank you very much. And I really do hope that you have enjoyed episode 100 and that you are looking forward to the continuation of this convoy attack in episode 101. Until then, have some really great days and goodbye.